Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is an answering questions episode. As you can tell, I'm not in my dinosaur gear today, is because I'm actually wearing my favorite sports team apparel, which is the Green Bay Packers. And as you can tell, right behind my right shoulder, there's a banner of the Green Bay Packers, and so it's our preseason game that I'm watching today, and it's a Saturday. So basically, preseason, even though it doesn't really count, but you get to watch some young players and all that. All right, let's actually get down to some of these questions, shall we? John from South Sioux City, Nebraska, who actually asks, what we know of Edmontosaurus in Alaska tells us that they stayed put during the winter. But what if that's not the whole story? What if only the males headed south while the females stayed put, like emperor penguins in reverse? That question, I love that question. I love this question. Love it, love it, love it. Well, since the emperor penguins, emperor penguins are actually from the Antarctica, so basically, they're one of the largest penguin species alive today, and so you actually see that the males actually stay behind to take care of the eggs, and basically they just have one egg that they actually have to take care of. But the females actually migrate to actually go hunt for fish and all that to actually give the young some food to actually survive on throughout the. So basically, for the first time they actually have to eat. But if Edmontosaurus actually, does Edmontosaurus actually have the behavior like emperor penguins? But basically, if the males headed south instead of the females, that is a really good one. I mean, I have no problems agreeing with you on this one. I would not be surprised if that actually did happen. Because you see, because basically, since that the females would actually have to take care of the nests and also guard the nests and also guard the young a little bit more, whereas the males probably actually had to migrate south in order to stay away from the colder temperatures and probably are probably used to warmer weather and all that kind of stuff. But since the time of the dinosaurs, the temperature was actually mildly warm, and so it's actually going to be very, very interesting. I have no problems agreeing with you on this one there, John. I appreciate this question. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually did happen. So I would actually say that, you got a really good theory right there. I have no problem with that there. I can agree with you on that. And it's part of science, because since that gave a theory and basically just gotta maybe you actually show me what you probably actually have learned from wildlife and actually console it to the past and probably how these animals might have behaved. That's good work, man. I love that. Love that theory, and keep up the good work with that. Guys, keep up the good work, because that is actually a really good question. I love that question, and hopefully you continue to actually do a lot more research with that. That is actually a great question. All right, this next question from Renee from Embarrassed, Wisconsin. There seems to be a lot of attention to the possibility of many feathered dinosaurs. Does that indicate there may have been many dinosaurs capable of flight? What are your thoughts about that? Well, I would say the smaller dinosaurs would actually have the ability to have flight. Like you hear like Microraptor, Sinornithosaurus, Archaeopteryx, you name it. Some of the smaller dinosaurs that actually would have had the feathers and also the capabilities of flight. But they probably didn't do powered flight. They probably actually glide. They glide more often than they actually flapped. Because with Microraptor, they have 4 wings and they actually can't use both their limbs to actually flap, because that's a big energy. It wastes a lot of energy, and also doesn't have the muscle power to probably do that. So I mean, I think Archaeopteryx could have actually had the ability to possibly have powered flight, but basically, I think it's basically that it just probably didn't have the muscle power to actually do that kind of ability to fly, like flap their wings and actually kind of go from that. But when you actually see fossils from like China and also some other places where you actually find like fossil birds and all that kind of stuff that actually do have the ability to fly, so that actually would coincide with that. But how would some of the larger dinosaurs actually have the ability to fly? They probably wouldn't never had, because you see, if like dromaeosaurs, like some of the bigger dromaeosaurs like Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Utahraptor, they probably did not have the ability to fly, because since their weight was actually an issue, and also their body size was actually a big issue too, because since when you're actually more than 2 feet tall, you don't need to fly, because since your body weight is actually going to be a big issue, and since gravity is actually going to pull you down much faster than you're actually going to actually go up. And so but even though I think some of the dromaeosaurs like Velociraptor probably had the ability to climb, but basically climb small, probably like thicker bark trees, thicker trunk-like trees that could actually just climb up and possibly get like rodents, lizards, sometimes amphibians, and so that probably what they probably might have done was to catch smaller prey that way. But with some of the larger dinosaurs like the Tyrannosaurs or the Allosaurs or the Ceratosaurs, that the list goes on with the large carnivorous dinosaurs, they probably didn't actually do that, since that weight and size are always going to be an issue, and since that some of these dinosaurs are probably feathered, most of the feathers are probably used for display. Display is actually very common in bird species. Like, you see that the males are actually more brightly colored than the females, to advertise to the females, saying I'm a healthy male, I'm ready to mate. And also they probably used the feathers for display purposes for territory disputes, and saying I'm a healthy male, stay away, get out of my territory, and also that kind of thing, because when you actually in most bird species also actually do have feathers for insulation, which is basically to keep themselves warm. But I think that's mainly going to be in the hatchling stage for dinosaurs. Is basically they use insulation to actually like primitive feathers, like the fluffy feathers that you find like on a baby chick, to keep themselves warm. Because if you're just bare, the heat just escapes, and then basically that causes problems for that baby to grow faster and also to actually survive. And so I would say the chicklings of the dinosaurs would probably just have the insulation more than like the adults. The adults probably didn't need to have them that much. Dromaeosaurs would have probably actually had more feathers on their body. The Tyrannosaurs would actually have some like on the arms, sometimes parts of the head, and basically in the tail. And with because basically most Coelurosaurs were actually covered in feathers. Allosaurs probably didn't have that many. Spinosaurs didn't really have that many. And also the sauropods. The sauropods wouldn't have actually had feathers at all. I don't think they would even had feathers, because since that their size is actually a problem. So once you're that big, you don't need feathers at all for display purposes or anything. You can actually just use your body mass to deter you away from predators, and also just basically say that you don't need to be that warm to be that big. So they probably have more of a reptilian skin like covering. Same thing with ankylosaurs and stegosaurs. Those dinosaurs were so heavily armored they didn't need feathers at all. But that probably pretty much answers your question there. All right, next week would actually be a special episode. I'll post a link of the list of dinosaurs that you want me to talk about. Basically, if you have a dinosaur or two that you want me to talk about, I'm willing to do two at a time. I'm willing to do two in the same episode. So I've done it before. Could do it again. But now, just to remind everybody that 2 weeks from now there will not be another episode until 3 weeks, and that will be an answering questions episode, because I'm gonna get ready to move into college, and I'm gonna continue on to do what I'm gonna continue on doing is to further become a paleontologist, to basically continue on with my geology classes, and also continue on to possibly become a paleontologist in the future. So, and it's just the future is always waiting. Future's always waiting, and I can't wait to get back into college. And I had so much fun, and it's still going to be a good time. And hey, one of the classes I'll be taking is paleontology, so that actually will help me out pretty good. All right, that's it. And also, if you have, just to remind everybody that you can still send me questions anytime by email, Facebook, that kind of thing. And both of them are open 24/7. If you have a question about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com. And also you can post your questions on Facebook, on the Facebook page Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris, and you can actually post them in the comments section. Much easier to use. And also you can follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. And also take care of the people around you. And also for you younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. Those are the best motivation you can have for a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you guys next week.